Minions have spawned.
This game starts off kinda interesting in a sense that I was potentially AFK whilst I was catching up on God knows what TV show. My team was in the middle battling it out in an ARAM. This resulted in them burning a bunch of flashes and then overcommitting for the Syndra here. I see the opportunity for a bait, so I'm pinging it. I think we're all on the same page and it does work out in our favor. I really should have just popped the ghost and assumed Maokai's flashing the wall instead of chasing him, but I know that I can still catch up to him. He's going to be trying to recall to get his health back. There's no way he's doing that camp, right? He has to recall. So it's in my best interest to stall him out as long as possible. This gives the Wukong a chance to get a lead, and realistically, if your jungle is ahead, you win the game, right? I push him out as far as I can until Shen forces me away. This also makes Shen have to take the long pathing back, which gives me a 1 minion advantage when it comes to experience. I don't try pushing the lane though, because I know the Maokai is going to be pissed. It's likely he's coming top. The best option really is to just do nothing. Fast forwarding through the game, Shen has managed to chunk me down and I'm actively looking to get a back here. I'm trying to time it with my minion, so that Q there was a tactical Q. You can see Shen was trying to push the wave in for it to crash into the tower. I did not want that. I've Q'd him, he has to pull back, and now I can teleport in without missing any minions, and I can freeze the wave. This is what I want you to pay note to. Notice how I hold the wave rather than letting it crash onto the tower. It's because I see Wukong's position. Look at him on the map down there. He's killing that camp and he's going to come top. Another thing to note is what my purchases were on my first back. I actually went for tier 1 boots, knowing that the gank is likely going to happen and the extra movement speed could help me catch up to Shen. You see the Shen desperately wants to push this wave in and reset, but I'm not letting him do that. He's fighting to get it done, and this opens up the opportunity for Wukong to swoop in and take the kill. Shen still is holding onto his taunt, so I'm trying to separate myself from Wukong whilst also positioning anywhere that Shen could potentially escape. The name of the game this match is to play like a zombie. We're going to stack health, not die, and get maximum farm. What this means is on my next back, I end up purchasing the Giant spell instead of the Kindle gem because it gives 350 health. So more health means more sustainability. It wouldn't be the most average game of Sion if your bot lane didn't completely get stomped, right? So here you are, bot lane getting crushed by the Shen. This situation isn't the worst for me. Anytime Shen leaves his lane, it opens up the possibility for us to get tower platings. And if you didn't know already, tower platings are the golden goose when it comes to League of Legends. It's something people don't think about enough, especially when it comes to not protecting your platings. People love getting them, but they don't love protecting them. And in this case, Shen has vanished. He's not protecting his platings. Sion just gets free gold. Even if he killed somebody, I made more gold with this tower plating. Something to really consider though is, what if you're Shen, you make that play, it goes wrong, and then you've just given all those tower platings away and literally gain nothing. That's why the risk of roaming doesn't always pan out, especially if you're not timing your roam with a wave. Overall, I got 3 platings, which is worth 475 gold. I got an additional 3 waves. Add all that together and trust me, it's more than the 1 kill they got. I've included this clip in here because I want you to realize that build order in specific items is very important depending on your goal. For this game, I want as much health as possible so I can be beefy and AFK farm. I opt to go for 2 ruby crystals instead of upgrading to the Kindle gem. The Kindle gem gives you 200 health, whilst 2 ruby crystals gives you a total of 300 health. So you gain an additional 100 health by not going for the Kindle gem. I know this may seem like such a small, insignificant thing, and it really is small and minor, but that truly is the difference between good and bad players. It's the culmination of a bunch of small little things that they're doing that the opponent potentially is not. Back into this game, Shen teleported bot and they completely wiped the bot lane once again. I know this kind of is shitty of me to stay top and get the farm, but that's kind of what it takes. We're slowly building our experience lead, and this is going to allow me to make a play in the upcoming minutes. Notice how I'm quite literally watching this fight break out. I have my teleport, I could easily teleport in and try and help them, but realistically speaking, I know I have a lead and I don't want to overcommit until I know that they have overcommitted. So I'm trying to let them overcommit and clean up the gold to keep my lead snowballing rather than being the one to initiate it and then losing my lead. Problem with teleporting in so soon is that it's likely going to just nullify, as in they're going to start running away and your team's going to live as well. But as a team that's behind, you kind of want to catch back up, and I'm in a position where I'm strong enough to actually make that happen. So I want to take advantage of that. I want to let them overcommit, make an error, and then I'll come in and clean it up. You can see here, I'm in this one-on-one with the Mount guy. He ain't going anywhere. We have a red buff. It's just, yeah, it's doomed for him. Something you gotta notice that I'm doing as well is, at this point in the game, I don't do it every game either, but I know that I'm in the position needing to carry. So you're gonna witness me holding my Heartsteel, holding my W, always trying to take the last hit. Basically, you're gonna watch me hogging gold. I've seen the way Shen's playing, plus the champion itself. He's trying to team fight. He's trying to get that 5v4, which means the stronger our split pusher is in this game, that's our win condition. Once again, I end up buying the 2 ruby crystals instead of the upgrade for maximizing my health. This is gonna benefit both the Heartsteel proc and Demolish. On our way back to the bot lane, we see this Annie well out of position. I'm trying to wait until she gets the exact right location that I can ult and pincer her into a spot where she can't run away. I press my E right before the stun, allowing the slow to hit her, and that way there's just no escape. Proc the ghost, and we're off. Now it's about protecting my shutdown bounty. You see, I push away the Annie Tibbers, and I make sure to pick up the additional 50 gold for killing Tibbers. Once I'm in a safe enough health, I'll circle back in and be a juicy bait. It's still a top priority for me to stop my bounty from getting handed over, but I assess the situation, and I'm out of range for the taunt, plus the other 2 that are alive don't have the damage to kill me, so I obviously felt comfortable enough to engage again. Here I am with the KS. There's a lot of split pushing in this game that I've cut out just because it's not very interesting, but a lot of the time I was pulling multiple members from the enemy team, forcing them to interact with me while still keeping an eye on the fight. I'm always watching while I split push, and in this situation here, I once again waited until they've overcommitted before teleporting in. This is a trend you'll see over and over. I'm waiting for them to overcommit so I can come in and clean up. In terms of item purchases, I typically would go for the holy trinity of items, which would be the Sunfire Cape, the Heartsteel, into a Titanic Hydra. But just because of the way this game played out with the split pushing, I thought that the Hullbreaker would be a more optimal item. I noticed this one minion somehow survived, and I utilized it to get an early head start on taking these towers. It all synced up as well. Our team ends up getting a couple kills, and they start on that Baron, which means I can just hard push bot, and they have to make the hard choice between defending or giving up the Baron. Realistically speaking, the game's over. There's nothing they can do to stop me. With the build path that I've gone, I can just ignore everybody and walk through. After opening up the bot tower, I noticed that they were defending the Baron. 2 of them were trying to cut off the enemy team from reaching it, while the other 2 were still taking it. I went over to help, see if I could clean up. It didn't go to plan, so I aborted. Still trying to protect the 700 bounty that's on my head. I'm well aware of it, and I end up pointing at it right as I recall. This is close to one of the most demoralizing things as a top laner, where when your opponent's like so far ahead that you quite literally can't stop them from taking a turret. Like, you 100% need more than just you there. It sucks, but at the end of the day, he shouldn't let the gap get that big. That gap really just came from him constantly ulting away, allowing me to get that massive experience gap. Top's open, mid's now open. We opened bot earlier. The entire base is wide open for the taking. I head back to the base, pick up our final item, which is that Titanic Hydra, and I'm pretty certain I could take on the world, so I'm all about just teleporting straight in. The poor Shen is put in this position over and over, where his team's expecting him to 1v1 hold. Just completely ignore him and do what I want to do. I don't think the enemy team in a situation like this should be contesting the Drake, even if it was for the soul point. They need to hold the base and try to get my shutdown. My shutdown's worth 1,000 gold to them. That could be huge in turning it around. I end up seeing an opportunity here to kill the Aphelios. It was purely greed. I didn't need to kill him, and I also think that there's a chance I could have just escaped by going to the portal and using my shield, so I believe this was a mistake. They finally get the shutdown on me. Better late than never, but honestly, it was too late. Sion's in this really weird spot at the moment where he's okay, except for him to be okay, you kind of need to play a boring play style. The play style is pretty much you go zombie mode, you don't attempt to win the lane, all you're doing is surviving until you get the holy trinity of item. At that point, it's easy to win, but it's just not very fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this game, and I hope you learned something as well. There's a couple of tips in there that I think are interesting, and hopefully it's something you can utilize in your own game.
Y'all ain't on this level, bitches, Tilterella. Y'all can never beat